The BumbleKast is for entertainment purposes only. The host's comments and opinions, and those of their guests, are wholly their own and do not represent that of any other entity. Content is provided as is, with no guarantees of accuracy or timeliness. Unauthorized redistribution or editing of the BumbleKast in whole or in part is strictly prohibited.
Welcome to the BumbleKast. I'm your host, Ian Flynn, the Bumble King, and joining me as always is my Bumble co-host, Kyle, JCRB Krause.
Hello! We're here. We're back. It's time for another BumbleKast. Another week of BumbleKasting action.
Yup. We have so many questions to cover that come from our patrons over at patreon.com/BumbleKast, Ko-fi.com/BumbleKast, and our YouTube members. And some of the questions I see coming in, just gentle reminder, folks, we're not covering any Sonic-related content on the show. But we're done with that. We talked about it last month, and still getting questions. Can't do it. Not going to do it. So please don't. We don't want to disappoint you, but it is what it is. So let's move on.
All right, let's go ahead and get started with this one from Andrew D. In the theoretically vast multiverse of Mega Man, the anti-Mega Man universe exists. I've asked something similar once before, but one game at a time. What is the plot of the anti-version of the very first Mega Man game? I suppose at this point they wouldn't know they are anti-versions, so they wouldn't have changed their names. I'm not sure when they would. Yeah, we'll save that for another time. Anyway, Anti-Mega Man 1, let's go.
I do remember this topic, and I feel like we covered this exact subject, or I riffed on it, but now I don't remember. So,
I don't remember either, so hey, let's do it again.
So, Mega Man 1, the vile and duplicitous Dr. Light has unveiled his 8 robot masters. We're going to include Time Man and Oil Man, just because they're going to be the future of humanity, but they're secretly his personal army to conquer the world.
Yeah.
And thus, the wise and generous and loving Dr. Wily steals them all and reprograms them to be champions of good.
Rude.
So, Dr. Light, in his fury, takes this little robot boy he's been using to clean up around the house and weaponizes it and says, "Go, kill for daddy." And Mega Man's like, "I love fighting!" And thus you play Mega Man 1. Anti-Mega Man 1.
Yes. It's very similar. Like, the game is very similar to the actual game. You would never know if you didn't read the manual.
And all of that weaponry, all the stuff that Wily is throwing at Mega Man the entire time, it's panic.
Yeah, most likely.
Like, he did not account for this, and he can take the other Robot Master's weapons. Oh, God!
Yeah. And the other Robot Masters are also panicking because here comes this one-man army to kill them all.
Here comes the boy.
Oh, no. Oh, shoot,
And
here comes that boy.
You got Roll back at base going, "Go get him, Mega Man. I hope you die in the field. I'm rooting for you to lose."
Yes, that eventually Roll's vile but inevitable betrayal later on in the franchise. I'm ready for it. Then we get a whole anti-Roll spinoff. All right. Question from Ann Tails. One of my gaming goals is to get into the Mega Man franchise. However, I need to ask, where do I start? Should I play them all in order of release? Which games are essential to the overarching narrative? And at what point could I hop from the games to the Archie Mega Man comics and then back to the games?
Oh, goodness.
No. This is a whole can of worms, and the answer is different depending on who you ask.
Yeah. Mega Man is such a big and varied franchise that there is no singular answer. What you need to do is just pick a point and start, and if you're enjoying it, keep going. And if not, pick a different point and start over. Like, there is no correct way to do it. Just even with Mega Man 1 by itself, there's the powered up remake.
It is a remake, yes.
Remake, yeah, given all that they had to it. Countless other versions and such. There is no like singular play Mega Man 1 unless you like dust off the original NES and play that. Like, I would say, take a cursory look at it. If you like the style of classic Mega Man, start there. If you like the looks of Mega Man X and want something that's a little more fast paced, go with that. If you like the look of Battle Network,
EXE also works. It's fine.
Yeah, it's Mega Man. You're not really gonna go wrong. It's had its high points and its low points and its rough patches. So has everything. Just go in there and enjoy. The comics, I would almost say you can wait on those if you're just diving into the franchise in general.
Yeah.
Because the comics are a companion piece. They're a celebration of everything that had come before, and it kind of reimagining, revisiting a lot of elements. And some of that you're not going to get in the game anyway. It's like super deep, nerdy lore stuff. So
Yeah.
in that regard, you could also do the comics just by themselves and then go to the games and say, huh, that's different. Or vice versa. Do what makes you happy when enjoying Mega Man. And that's the important thing.
Yeah, I would say that you don't need to like jump back and forth between the games and the comics. That's not really necessary.
Yeah, you're not. I don't think that's going to add anything to the experience.
No. So, the best way right now is the official collections that Capcom has released, like the Mega Man collection and then the Mega Man X collection and stuff. If you want to play them, the best official way is those have like full rewinds and save states and stuff. So it definitely makes the games a bit more palatable, especially to a modern audience and a modern person who doesn't necessarily have the time to sit there and deal with all of Mega Man's idiosyncrasies and
or if you're like me,
anything,
you're just bad.
Or if you're just bad at video games, yeah. Yeah, I'd say
training wheels. I need the full padded suit and a guide dog.
Yeah, I would say those are the best ways right now to play them in an official sense. Obviously, there's many ways, but yeah, the modern, they're all on modern consoles and PC. So if you're looking to jump into something from Mega Man, I would suggest going that route. There's also lots of interesting bonus features and extra stuff that they include with those too. So I'd give classic Mega Man a shot. You can start with the first game. I don't see why not. They all play roughly similar. Like they add some gameplay elements later on, and Mega Man 1 has some weirdness to it that the other games don't have because it wasn't nearly as refined and it was still early. But I'd say it's a fine place to start. Otherwise, I mean, there's like tons of collections. Just look up the games to see which ones you like and which ones appeal to you, which of the many Mega Man sub-franchises looks the most interesting to you, and just jump in and start there. I mean, they're pretty standalone. You don't really... There's no, like, major overarching plot where you're going to be, like, lost completely. The games are largely self-contained, even between individual entries, I would say.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like, yeah, you can start with, like, I don't know. First one I played was Mega Man 7. And the story is completely like comprehensible. There's nothing about it that's like, huh? What's going on?
And sometimes in X's case, it's better not to pay attention to the story between games.
Yeah. Actually, yes. That's true. All right, here's a question from Aura. When's the last time either of you looked into recent Marvel comics? The current Ultimates run features a Hulk that knows Kung Fu.
Neat.
Why don't all the Hulks know Kung Fu? What the heck's going on over there? The Hulk house. I don't know. Where do Hulks live?
Wherever they want to.
yeah, I suppose.
I dabbled a little bit with the Krakoa arc in X-Men because that was different.
Mm-hmm.
And some of the art in it was absolutely phenomenal. But I didn't keep up with it consistently, and then things got kind of weird.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a hard time keeping up with it. I'm like, I'm not invested in it anymore, and dropped off. That was, oh God. I think when Orcus took over everything, and then it started getting into the weird like cross title thing, so that you had to read Iron Man to understand what's going on in X-Men. It's like, nope. Can't do it, won't do it.
When was Mark Waid's Black Widow run? That was a while ago, I think. 2016. Okay. So, yeah, I have followed some fairly recent stuff, but I didn't get too deep into the weeds. I actually have not gotten deep into the weeds on comics a bit, but I have dabbled here and there. So, otherwise, I read a lot of Spider-Gwen, which I enjoyed. It's a bit slow in places, and Silk also. Silk was pretty solid. All right, let's move on to this question here from Axis. I'm a huge Gambit fan. I always enjoy watching him in any X-Men related stories, but unfortunately he hasn't had much luck in his solo comic runs, which are often canceled after a few months and are considered quote-unquote lackluster by many. My question is, how would you approach a solo Gambit story? Even if you haven't read the comics, I would love to hear your ideas for the Ragin' Cajun.
Well, number one, you have excellent taste because Remy's the best. They really did him justice in Deadpool Wolverine. Very happy there.
Yeah.
And one of my immediate favorite moments of Gambit is an X-Men Evolution.
Okay.
Where there's the basic premise is there's a giant energy spider wandering across the world and everybody's trying to stop it. We won't get into the details. That's not important. The point is giant energy spider. Can't stop it. They're in London. Here comes Gambit driving a double-decker bus, puts it into a slide so it falls over and crushes the thing, and then charges the whole thing up to boom, just blast it to smithereens. It doesn't work, but that moment where he's just like getting business done, it's like, that's why he's the Remy, level, the Gambit, respect the man.
Hoo-wee, we're about to make a name for ourselves up here.
I went for him as Halloween when I was 10.
Oh, yeah?
Something. And all my mother had to work with was like my action figure. And she's looking at that stupid headpiece going, what is this? And I'm like, I don't know. And ultimately she had a stroke of genius where she just got a scuba hood.
Yeah.
And just cut the top out of the crown. And my hair poked out. And that was it.
That was it.
That's it. That's the Remy head thing.
That's literally all it is. It's just it's just a head sock.
And it looks cool. I don't care who you are or what you think. The original Gambit just looks cool. Yes, It's a little eclectic, but I don't care. That coat, the armor chest piece, the blue and the black and all. No, that hair, like a rooster comb just coming out showing how much raw masculine energy that man has. Name a flaw. You can't.
I mean, it's goofy as hell, and that's why it looks great.
He's got the swagger to make it work.
Yes, he absolutely does.
The problem is, at least from my perspective, is that Remy is a fantastic supporting character. He is a brilliant foil. He brings out the best and worst out of the other characters. He's there to riff off of and with.
Yeah.
I mean, one of the best dynamics are between him and Rogue.
Yes.
But take away Rogue, take away his love-hate relationship with Logan, take him out of the scenario where he's the kind of bad boy, and he's cool, but he needs someone to bounce off of. And I think that's part of the reason why his solo works just don't carry, is because he isn't strong enough by himself. He's a fantastic character in an ensemble. I don't know how good he is by himself because he bounces off other characters so well.
Yeah.
That's the charisma. And if you have him in the void of him just being himself in his own adventure, you don't have that dynamic. So you can certainly introduce a one-off cast for him to riff with, but I still feel like you would need to shift the narrative focus to somebody else in that story or to this new ensemble for him to work with. Here's a comparison for you. The Pirates of the Caribbean trilogy. Everybody remembers Jack Sparrow.
Yes.
He stole the show. But the minute the movies shifted their focus to him specifically, it fell apart. Jack was fantastic as an agent of chaos in those films, as an element to the greater whole and part of the narrative. But when it's just Jack, he can't carry it. I think it's similar to Gambit. He's brilliant. I love him. He's got a little bit of that Jack Sparrow energy to him, but he's not a primary character.
Right. No, I agree with you on that one. Apparently he was part of an X-23 mini where he was X-23's mentor.
Yes.
And that sounds great.
That is perfect. God, I hope they did that right, because that sounds phenomenal.
Yeah. I mean, I freaking love X-23, so, and pairing her up with Remy, God, that's gotta be like amazing.
The worrisome fun uncle. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. 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 Yes.
That sounds fantastic. That's definitely a good that's a good combo right there. I gotta check that one out. That sounds great. Just the concept on its own.
And the little bit of recent X-Men I've read where he and Rogue are just happily married.
Yeah.
Oh my God, dude. It's the best part of every book because they're just in love and they're just cool with each other and they're just supportive of each other and they're both badass together. And it's like, yes!
Wow, healthy relationships. Thank you.
It's just so nice.
I can't believe that there is a healthy relationship in comics.
I mean, I could understand the worry about it. It's like once you remove the will they, won't they element, does that lose some of the spice? And it's like, no, they still flirt.
Yeah.
But it's just they're committed now. And the spice is still there. The Cajun spice.
It's like, honey, we've been married for 5 years. I know, but yeah, it's a bit of that Lois and Clark energy.
Yeah, a bit.
Yeah.
Better.
Yeah. I have a healthy relationship. It's amazing. It's weird. I don't understand this, like, healthy relationships in media thing. What's up with that? All right. Let's move on to this one from Blam the Third. After his latest defeat in the hands of a rivaling genius, this mad doctor finds himself in the middle of a collapsing building with his ego completely destroyed, and he's left unable to escape the falling debris, and with this he meets his demise. Or so he thought. He finds himself in an unknown land completely devoid of any evil robots or a certain blue hero, and with this, Dr. Wily's isekai adventures begin. The mad doctor gets sent to the land of Hyrule. How does it go?
I think technically we did a Wily isekai.
We have done a couple, I think. So you're a little late on this one, but
that's okay.
We can
maybe this is the canonical first.
We can retcon it. This is the first one.
The Bumble canon remains. Heaven help us all.
There's so many isekai. There's so many characters on so many isekai adventures now. It's gonna be this is
somewhere Doctor Who is just pulling his hair out.
Yeah, it's like, what the heck is happening here?
So I think the biggest thing is which Hyrule is Wily landing in, because in most cases he's sunk. He's not going to dabble in magic. He isn't going to be able to figure anything out. At best, he might become a half-decent apothecary, but no.
He is so far out of his element,
Yeah. But if he's in like Breath of the Wild, the Tears of the Kingdom Hyrule, there's a lot of Zonai tech to be found.
Yep.
And assembled. And we have seen the kind of mad science contraptions that the player base has assembled.
Yes.
Flying laser cages, walking boats, mechs, full on mecha. No, he's going to conquer Hyrule. It's going to be terrifying.
Yeah, he's done. Also, why did I say elephant? Maybe that's what he builds. A giant elephant to walk. Elephant mech.
Guy finds the divine beasts, finds a way to combine them into some kind of megazord.
Yeah.
I'll be the Triforce because I have the power, wisdom, and courage to see this through.
That's right. Oh man, I'm losing it over here. Well, it's the Wily in the room, you know. Words are hard, Ian. I don't know if you know that.
It's been a long year so far, Kyle.
Ian, it's week 2.
I
know. Oh no. Seaman has a question. Bad news, your toilet's incredibly broken. Good news, you can hire a plumber. Even more bad news, you only have 4 options, which may or may not be official plumbers. What's the worst that could happen with any of these quote-unquote plumbers? Wario, Darth Vader, Katsuki Bakugo, or Kyle?
Kyle? Immediately?
What? I mean, yeah. I could probably fix your toilet. I've fixed a few toilets in my day.
See, you're a handyman. You I would trust. But even if you couldn't...
Eventually, I might get it.
Even if you couldn't...
Yeah.
Bakugo is going to blow it up. That's his solution.
Pretty much.
Vader could probably force push the clog away, but he's going to be so insulted by the very insinuation that I'm going to die. And Wario, if he does it, is going to rob me blind in the meanwhile. So no, it's going to be Kyle.
Also, Darth Vader lost his hand, so he's not very handy at all.
No.
Yes. Yeah, I could do it. I could figure something out.
Mr. Vader, the invoice didn't quite match the quote. I have altered the invoice. Pray I do not alter it further.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. Yeah. Nah, I got you. I know what Home Depot is. I've been there before. This reminds me of I had to save my grandma's toilet when it started overflowing, actually. So, yeah. I mean, luckily it's just water because it didn't get clogged or anything. It just a leak developed between the tank and the rest of it. So I was like, oops.
Oh, okay.
Oops. So,
if it's going to have a problem, let it be that one, please.
Yeah, luckily it's just water coming out. But it's like, crap. It's either Home Depot or Lowe's. They don't have Lowe's up in Canada, though, so pretty sure.
Not anymore. They merged with Rona, but they like used all of Lowe's branding. It's weird.
That's a interesting name to have these days. Anyway. Anyway. Here's one from KB. Hey, Ian and Kyle, who's your favorite Looney Tunes director? My personal favorites are Tex Avery and Bob Clampett.
Tex Avery is very good. Personal favorite is Chuck Jones.
Mine too. Yep.
I feel like a lot of my comedic timing and idiosyncrasies come from nonstop Chuck Jones watching.
Yeah. Between Duck Amuck, Rabbit Rampage, and Duck Season, Wabbit Season. Yeah.
The entire Grinch movie.
The Grinch. Yeah. Just in terms of everything he's done. Yeah. Yep. I'm agree with you on that one. All right. Comic the Hedgehog has a question for both of us. What are your worst customer service stories? Tell me about a time you either experienced or witnessed a customer who was rude and unreasonable. I also encourage everyone in the comments and the chat to share their stories. Thank you for your service. See, honestly, I've put a lot of these out of my brain, like almost immediately after they've happened, because I really don't want to sit there and dwell on them. But there's definitely been instances of things.
I'm trying to think of something specific outside of our one neighbor who is deeply troubled and the tirades she has unleashed on the security downstairs.
Yeah.
I mean, I would count that as poor customer interaction in a sense.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there just like, don't say anything, because that's only going to escalate things, and they're trying their best to keep it under, boiling, so you're only going to make it worse. Don't white knight this. And it's,
Yeah, that's usually the thing.
I was working at Popeyes, and the guy came back with a piece of chicken claiming it was undercooked, and it's like, no, that's just what the interior of a chicken looks like. I've been eating chicken my whole life, and it's never looked like this. I'm like, you're bullshitting. I know you are. That's just what an animal looks like. And my manager came over and was like, what's going on? This chicken, it's not cooked. And he just kind of gives me a look and goes, okay, sir, we'll replace your piece right away. And he takes me aside and goes, I know this guy. He's going to just cause problems and demand refunds. We'll eventually kick him out of the store. It's happened before. It's like, okay.
Well then. Yeah, there's always someone like that. I'm just kind of like, eh.
I gotta say, though, not that I've worked a ton in the service sector. I've worked mostly freelance, and I'm very thankful for that.
Yeah.
But in most of my retail experiences, I've had pretty much just good times. Like, I worked a Black Friday midnight shift, and it was calm, collected, and polite.
I've been pretty lucky myself, luckily. Yeah, I've worked retail, and usually the customers are one of the least problematic issues. It's usually, a lot more of the time it was like coworkers and other things that were going on.
I've been chased out of a few jobs by the managers.
The management is usually, the management is the worst part. Because customers leave Managers don't. Bad management is always there. All right, here's one from Double L. Given how the world has changed his creation, how would you approach writing Xander Payne in the misinformation age?
I don't know, honestly. And aside from the long-term plans I have for Xander, I don't know if I would try him again. Because he's already a very paint-yourself-into-a-corner character with his motivations, and that he wants to fight advanced technology and doesn't want to use it. So what is he going to fight Rock with? A stick?
Yes.
And there's that degree of
a sharp stick, because when you poke Mega Man, he explodes.
And there's a little bit of that degree of use the thing I hate to destroy the thing I hate, but the hypocrisy, I don't think we could have ever really gotten into it properly.
Yeah.
So, and for the misinformation angle, while that would certainly fit Xander's MO, I don't know if it would have fit Mega Man. Like, maybe very, very early on, but once we hit Mega Man 4 onward, the story is strong enough on its own. I don't think I would want to slow down to do a misinformation arc, I mean, it could kind of fit into Mega Man 5, but that would steal a little bit of Wily's thunder.
Yeah.
So, short version, I wouldn't.
Well, yeah. Xander was mostly a character that was mandated by the editorial, right? You didn't really...
No. Xander was my idea.
Oh, okay.
I wanted to introduce another villainous force because we knew it's going to be Wily.
Well, yeah.
I wanted there to be a little bit of variety in there. And the Emerald Spears were an idea that could potentially be tapped repeatedly, but there were different ideas on how to handle them. And again, painting myself into the corner with the whole, I don't want to use advanced technology. Okay, how do you stop the most advanced robot in the world? Be angry. It's
Well, I mean, it's realistic at least, because that's about all we can do is be angry about the most advanced robot in the world.
And what can Mega Man do? He can't directly fight him because he can't harm a person. So, I don't know. Core idea might still be workable under somebody else, but I don't know.
No, Xander's the kind of guy who would have a podcast. Yeah, that would be his thing now. It'd be to have a podcast. Yeah. Or he's on his own isekai adventures. I think Xander Payne is probably the best character to use for isekai adventures from your Mega Man run specifically. Like, if we had to choose like a villainous character from a thing you've written, and I feel like he would fit that mold pretty well. So
yeah, but Wily's more fun.
Wily's more fun, but Xander is kind of that, his hubris gets to him, in the same way as our previous isekai participant. But Wily is way more fun, yes. All right, let's move on to a question from Dove. Kyle, have you seen that intro to the cartoon for Pole Position? Can you sing the intro? Ian, can you sing the intro to Pole Position?
So I'm very glad Dove provided a link because I had no idea what this was.
I didn't know this existed myself. It was a little before my time. I never saw it in like reruns or anything. I didn't know that Pole Position ever had a cartoon, but the theme song rocks.
It says copyright Namco, so it's a game first, right?
Pole Position is a game, yes.
Okay. Did it have anything to do with kids carrying on the dead parents' mission to fight crime with transforming talking cars?
No, Pole Position is a Formula One racing game, kind of like a it's like a simulation-ish arcade simulation. It's a very early version of what would become Daytona. There's no storyline, there's nothing about it. It's just literally a Formula One racing game. That's it.
The 80s.
One of the earliest behind the car viewpoint racing games. That's its claim to fame. That's all it is.
As for singing it, I mean, it's hard to hear what the theme song is because it's that era where there's sound effects and exposition and chatter going on.
Yeah.
During the don't do that. Let me watch the cool intro. But I remember it was something along the lines of like pole position, people driving in fast cars, pole position. Hey, that car's flying now! Wow. I think that was something like that.
We're zening it up over here.
Listen to it. Look it up yourself. Listen to it. Tell me if that is not.
It is absolutely 100% limousine. It's 100%. It's fantastic. It's a great theme tune. Not gonna lie. Yeah. Now people are posting links to a cover of it. Check that out. Yeah, it's fantastic. I didn't even know it existed. I didn't know Pole Position had a theme song at all and I didn't know it had a cartoon. But I'm here for it now. I'm ready. Pole Position is one of those early arcade games that I've always had a lot of respect for, and I enjoy me a good Pole Position race once in a while. But I had no idea it had a cartoon, and that it is so bonkers, absolutely ridiculous. Suppose I shouldn't be so surprised. All right, Fang has a question. I come bearing a ton of questions about Marvel's best boy, Jeff the Land Shark. It is well known that Jeff is pretty powerful. For example, he has eaten the Infinity Gauntlet with the stones in it, has used the Hulkbuster armor with no issues, and is surprisingly great with a knife. But is he really all that? Can he defeat Goku and Vegeta in a fight? How's it go? Does he win, or does it end up in a draw?
I'm not as familiar with Jeff.
He's pretty recent.
Yeah.
And especially in terms of Marvel characters.
He kind of sounds like he's filling the niche Squirrel Girl used to fill, in that here's the joke character who can do all this stuff, and we play it straight for the laugh. And then Squirrel Girl actually started getting treated like a character. And it's like, well, okay, who do we get to be our goofy little whatever character? And we have Jeff the Land Shark, which it's fine.
You'd think he's just a little guy. He's just a little dude. He's cute. He's cool. He's fine. Yeah. He's not too silly. Well, I mean, he is silly. But
eating the Infinity Gauntlet is silly. Come on now.
Well, I mean, yeah, have you seen it? It looks ridiculous.
But as for fighting Goku and Vegeta, going by what little I know of Jeff, yes, he would beat Vegeta, and it would be utterly humiliating.
He could absolutely take Vegeta. No problem. 1v1 him into the ground.
It would be an inconclusive battle with Goku, because they're having a ton of fun as they split the planet in half. But then Frieza shows up and interrupts them, so they have to team up.
Yeah, I guess that would probably be the inevitable conclusion. I mean, really, Jeff is just a puppy with very sharp teeth and surprisingly powerful powers that can consume you and then spit you back out. He commits war crimes, but it's fine. FMS Draws has a question. Suppose that Dr. Light figured out robot eating. What is everyone having?
I mean, I would imagine he'd make it so that everyone could eat anything.
Well, yeah, but like, what would they like?
I say that, and at the same time, he sometimes is lacking a little in that foresight. So it might be, okay, they can eat, but only certain things work with their mechanisms. And now he is sad because they can't experience everything. I mean, Rock can eat anything, I'm sure. He's a good boy, and he eats his greens because he's a good boy. He likes his chalky milk and chicky nuggies.
Good.
Or chicken matars.
We'll go with that.
Yeah. And Gutsman is deathly allergic to chocolate, but loves clams because he just crushes them in his giant jaw, eats them like popcorn. And you know what? There's probably something somewhere, some obscure bit of
I'm sure
Japanese exclusive lore that I am not remembering. And someone's going to flag and say, "You forgot that Fireman likes tacos." And I'm like, he doesn't have a mouth.
So he can incinerate them and consume them that way. Just shut up.
He incinerates them and then snorts the ashes. Thanks, Kyle. That's a great way for him to consume tacos.
Sure. I don't know. I'm just here. Don't pay attention to me.
I mean, he doesn't have hands either. Dr. Light, why'd you build me to suffer?
Well, Crashman don't have hands either.
Yeah, but he's a wily bot.
Yeah,
Why they built him for destruction? I'm supposed to clean up garbage. Also, I'm Southern. And
Also,
cowboyish
apparently
for some reason.
he's become the engineer from TF2.
Hey, Powered Up gave him the Southern voice, and I'm going to stand
Good,
by that.
good. Keep with it. I mean, what's more American than fire?
I like a man likes energy drinks.
Sure.
He's very put out to find out that there's not any like actual energy in them. It's just caffeine.
I thought that's what E-tanks were.
Yeah, well, it tastes better than E-tanks. Have you had an E-tank? What's better? Iceman likes, sorbets or like flaming hot chili? Which is funnier?
I'm trying to think. I don't know. Maybe he just likes alcohol because it doesn't freeze. Especially vodka. Nah, I can't see him getting wasted. I don't know, maybe.
And Cutman likes anything, French fries, vegetables, whatever, as long as it's Julian cut.
Exactly. That's right.
He won't eat it unless it has the consistency of confetti.
Yes. Did you say roll?
Roll pancakes.
Ah, okay.
Especially with fruit.
Godzilla has a question. Ian, have you finally realized that Godzilla King of the Monsters is by far the best film of the MonsterVerse? I've given you a few years to think about the slander you said about the movie when it came. Are you ready to repent and let the wonder of Bear McCreary's score lift your spirits?
I'm sorry, but it's still kind of lacking in all the places it shouldn't be.
Yeah, it's not great.
Especially egregious when you compare it to Godzilla versus King Kong, which got it right.
Yeah.
I'm not going to call it a good movie, but it's a good MonsterVerse movie because we have 3 very good fights with very clear choreography where you can see the freaking kaiju with definitive winners that build towards the story itself. Of the MonsterVerse so far, I will plant my flag on Godzilla versus King Kong.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. What's the newest one? Godzilla and Kong. What's the subtitle?
Hidden Kingdom, New World Order, Tag Team Wrestling Federation.
The New Empire. New Empire.
Yeah, I haven't seen that one yet because I got a vibe off the trailers. It's like they're going to take all the wrong lessons from the last one, aren't they?
I have seen it, and I think it's better than King of the Monsters.
Ooh, okay.
It's stupid. It's a very stupid movie. It's a very see. For me, calling a movie stupid is a compliment.
Okay.
Like, because it's dumb, big, bombastic, idiotic, just so ridiculously over the top that it's kind of great. Like, Godzilla as a character in that movie is absolutely nuts.
Okay.
And then the things they do with Kong, like, it's pretty wild. It's a stupid movie in the sense of it being incredibly entertaining and it's very fun, but it's like just, oh man, it's dumb.
Here's the line for me is in the first Godzilla that they made. I know he's only on screen for like all of 10 minutes.
More than that, but yeah, not much more than that.
But what little is there, he's this force of nature. He's super freaking cool, and there's just this hint of personality, just the barest smidge of anthropomorphism that I like. And Kong versus Godzilla, it's right on that borderline where they have personality, they have clear emotions, but they're still kaiju. They're still monsters. They're still animals. The stuff I saw in New Empire or whatever it was with Mecha Fist and Super Saiyan Rose Godzilla, they were looking like characters.
Yeah.
They're not kaiju. They're not animals. This is your friend Godzilla and your friend King Kong, and they're gonna like tag team as they descend the ramp into the squared circle.
Yes, and that's what makes it so great.
That's fine for what it is. I will not begrudge that, but that's not what I want particularly. So,
no, I mean, it's not the direction they should have gone with it, but in a sense, like you know what? I'm kind of glad they did.
they're in Giza and Godzilla's charging him, and Kong sees the pyramid. He's like, "Oh no, don't wreck it!" And I'm like, "No,
Yeah.
no. That's fun. I will not throw it away because it is fun.
It is very funny.
But it's not what I want.
Godzilla and Kong are not friends in the movie, I will say that. But I mean, it's pretty clear they have some sort of shared personality history there going on. Yeah, it's very goofy, and that's what makes it so entertaining. It's so stupid. It's so much better than Godzilla King of the Monsters, though, because Godzilla King of the Monsters is just kind of boring, and like the music is great, the soundtrack is fantastic, but the movie does not live up to the hype of the soundtrack.
You can't see most of the fights, and the humans distract rather than show up to give you your B-movie plot and then get out of the way.
Yeah.
No. Kong versus Godzilla.
All right. Well, we've spent a long enough time wasting time about this one. Let's go ahead and move on to one from Gideon W. In a hypothetical, what unique Drogoon characters would you pick, one per property, to be in a crossover with the following? Mario Kart, a goofy racing game. Street Fighter, a 2D fighter. And Fortnite, a goofy FPS last man standing arena and Lego sandbox.
We're going to put Jobun in Mario Kart because I think he would fit physically better.
Yes. Okay, good. I'm glad you said that because that was the first thing I thought of, too.
He's very top heavy. He's got those big expressive arms. He can shout insults at you and throw things. That makes the most sense to me.
Yeah.
We'll put Foreign into Street Fighter for all the slick moves, and that tail can be put to use to just break necks and stuff. I think he would be the coolest fighting game character. And we'll put Wind in for Fortnite by default, because if anybody's going to dance over your corpse and then exult in destroying buildings, it's got to be her.
Yeah. I think you've nailed it. I think you got it. That said, Foreign in a tiny car is a very funny visual.
I mean, I could also see Wind in all three roles.
Oh, I mean, yeah, she's like, yeah, she'd be great in all of them. But the question wasn't one for all of them; it was one per one. So, but Foreign in Street Fighter, though, like, damn, I'm sure he looks great, outstanding. All right, JR, Unbundled with Steamed Hams has a question. Add one to the counter. Question for Ian: when you played Three Houses on BumbleKast Gaming, you often brought up how the game differed from past entries, which got me curious. What's your history with the Fire Emblem series? Kyle can also answer if I'm wrong, thinking he hasn't played the games.
Have you?
Yeah, a few. A little bit.
Okay.
Dabbled a little bit in Awakening. Should probably go back to it. Actually, probably restart it at this point. It's been a long time. And I also played, which one is the one that has Lynn in it? I played that one a bit as well. But that's it.
Shoot, which one is Lynn?
Not much. I forget what the subtitle is. It's one of the GBA ones, I think.
Yeah. I have dabbled in Lynn's game, and it's Erica, and what's her brother's name? Ephraim? Dabbled in their game, and then didn't really touch it because it stressed me the hell out.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I am not tactically inclined at all, and permanent unit death.
Yeah.
I was playing one of them on like the Wii U, and even with the save states, I was giving myself a tension headache. I'm like, no, I can't do this.
No, yeah.
Because I hate failure, and I am very much a failure in that. Awakening, I more followed Aaliyah's playthrough because she was way more into it, but that one was much more engaging overall for me. Art style, characters, music. Oh my God, the music.
Yeah.
Story beats. I don't know. Something about Awakening really clicked for me.
Clicked for a lot of people.
It really did, because it saved the franchise.
Yeah.
So, and I liked a lot of what they did to make it more accessible, but if you wanted to keep the traditional challenge, it was still very much there. So,
right.
And then what was after Awakening?
Fates.
Yeah, no, skipped Fates.
Yeah.
I saw that trash fire from a mile away.
Yeah.
And then, got into Three Houses just because I like that a little more grounded. Little more. we're talking fantasy here. And
there was Echoes, which is a remake between those.
right. I watched Omega Evolution play through that, and my fondest memory of that is he's doing the bonus dungeon, and he's going through all the lore drops throughout, and Leah and I are going, oh shoot, they're actually connecting it to Awakening here because it's on the same engine and they share the same basic timeline and lore. Oh cool, they're building up to this, and Omega's not even picking up on it. And he gets to the final boss, and it's Proto Grima, and he goes, wait, is that Grima? Grima? And he just starts going through the menus, changing up orders and units and weapons in a panic. And oh, that was funny. That was funny, just watching him walk right into that wall. And then what was the one after that? The one with the Lord with the Colgate hair?
Engage.
Yeah, nah.
Engage.
Nah, when your logo looks like it's the holdover image before you get the real one. No.
I kind of like that stupid hair design. Not gonna lie.
And I was playing Heroes on mobile for a little bit until the power creep just got stupid and the story got even stupider.
Yeah.
And the gotcha pandering became flagrant. And it's like, you know what? I'm not here for this. So thanks. Bye.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. It's supposed to be Joy-Con hair. I forgot about that.
Oh, that's still stupid.
I mean, that doesn't make it any better. It's still dumb. But
I think it makes it worse.
It actually, yeah. But yeah, it's very funny. Yeah.
So if you grab one half in one hand and one half in the other hand, can you make them dance Ratatouille style?
Could. Why not? Maybe next time they'll do Virtual Boy hair.
I think ultimately the main takeaway from all this is Gregor is best boy.
It's true. All right. Question from Leah. Do you still think speculative scripts are still viable for ongoing and licensed comics? I understand that in the TV world, they've all but vanished as writers' rooms have gotten smaller and more focused.
I also think folks are more generally aware of their rights, or at least in passing, and studios are more aware of that. So it is a huge legal liability.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you're invited to pitch something, which is not really a speculative script, but
that's that's different.
Well, no, because that's not it. That by definition is not a speculative script. So no, I don't think it's viable.
No, I don't think spec scripts. I don't think they're very common anymore. Yeah. All right. Well, we're pretty deep into this episode, but I think it's time we take a quick break and come back with more on the BumbleKast.
We're the bee and the berry. I'm the bee.
Jobs. No, I'm the bee.
Oh, my bad. We can cut that, right?
No, we can cut that.
Okay. We're the bee and the berry.
I'm the bee.
And I'm Strawberry.
And The Bee and the Berry is an irregularly scheduled podcast where we talk all things Sonic, writing fan fiction, and fan creation.
We snoop around at fan events, review the latest and hottest Sonic content, and host interviews with our fellow Sonic fan creators.
You know, just girly things.
And hey, if you want, you can totally send us any discussion topics or questions you'd like us to talk about, and we might answer them.
Or we might not.
But hey, you never know. You can find us on Twitter, Blue Sky, Tumblr, and YouTube at The Bee the Berry.
Okay, we're running out of time here. Gotta grow fast. Ciao!
We're back. We got a question from Majo Bunny. Let's start off with an easy anime icebreaker for both of you. Who's your favorite Sailor Scout from Sailor Moon? And who is your least favorite?
Not super familiar with Sailor Moon. I never watched or followed it back in the heyday. Tried to follow Crystal when it first came out, but that animation was rough.
Yeah.
So, with the caveat of I'm speaking largely in ignorance, Sailor Jupiter is best girl.
Yes. Wow, we are really on the same page. I'm shocked.
And not saying she's worst, but the one that I was least interested in on the fringe was Venus. Because to me, she just looked like they ran out of ideas and took the braids off of Sailor Moon.
Yeah.
I know I'm getting to that, as Aaliyah has educated me since. That's kind of the point of the fake out is that she came first and you thought she was the big hero, and that's why she has the cat in the look and blah, blah, blah. It's like, oh, that's kind of neat in that regard. But again, from my original experience, it was like, okay, it's an orange Sailor Moon. Meanwhile, you have this statuesque brunette who can throw lightning. I do believe we have a clear winner.
Yeah. I also like Sailor Uranus. She's a race car driver, man. I gotta stand for the race car driver.
Gobsmacked.
I know. You're shocked. You're amazed that I would like a race car driver.
Could possibly draw you to her?
But Jupiter. Oh, Jupiter is so great. I love them all. But yes, those two. Yes. I am not deep enough into the lore of Sailor Moon to say who my least favorite is. I don't want to throw one under the bus and be like, oh, it turns out they're actually great when I get the chance to actually sit down and watch it. I don't know. I feel like Usagi is maybe one of the least interesting ones, though. The actual, title character, Sailor Moon. I don't know. I feel like I don't know. I don't want to throw her under the bus. I haven't seen enough Sailor Moon to say that definitively, but she seems like kind of like the one who's like, she's like the Mario. She's just kind of like, she's the mid tier. She's just the average one, and everyone else around her is like, the more interesting characters. But that could just be me.
Episode will be interesting.
That could just be me that's me from a very outside perspective. So don't take my words as anything more than just speculative for the most part. So I'm sure plenty of people love her. She's, literally the star of the show. So, all right, Mel has a question. It was recently the holiday season, and you know what that means? Loading up on Steam games during the holiday sale, only for them to collect digital dust for years to come. Oh, the games I haven't played! So, Ian and Kyle, any games that you've been putting off playing for a ridiculous amount of time?
I know we picked up the Switch version of Nier Automata at some point.
You still haven't played it?
I don't think the plastic is off the case yet.
No. I have Bayonetta 2 on the Wii U.
Oof.
Never played it. Not for any reason other than I just haven't. I have so many games like that, though. Like, I have games dating back decades that I just have not played, digitally and physically. It's a real problem. I have a real problem.
I remember when we were first starting up BumbleKast Gaming, it's like, oh, great, we have a reason to go through the backlog now.
Yeah.
It didn't happen.
No. Nope. How much dust do I got on that Wii U? Quite a bit. Still under my TV, though. Still hooked up.
Hey,
I mean, it functions literally as pretty much every other Nintendo console other than the Switch, so... Yeah, at this point it does, but... All right, Morless has a question. It's the Monarch's Isekai Adventures. He got a little bit too close to Brock Sampson while he was drunk and ended up biting the big one. In the episode, the Monarch encounters the world of Super Mario. How will he react to this colorful cast of characters that are decidedly not as jaded or cynical as the ones he's used to? Is he cooked without Dr. Mrs. the Monarch?
So I like the syntax of this question where it's up for debate whether it was Brock that was drunk or the Monarch that was drunk. And either way, the result is the same.
Why not both?
I mean, both are hilarious. I think I prefer Monarch being drunk and thinking he's going to pick a fight. You think you're all set up for your mullet? You broke the 3-foot rule. Now he's 6 feet under.
There you go.
But no, he would be blundering through the Mushroom Kingdom absolutely out of his element. Wondering if he's just on some kind of trip. Did he take something and not remember it? He's usually more careful than that. And it would lead to various humiliating situations on his part until like the last 5-minute sequence where the music gets crazy and things get hyper violent and he has somehow managed to conquer both Koopa Keep and the Mushroom Kingdom.
Somehow. Don't know how. All right, Mixiger17 has a question. First video games you can remember playing? I can't quite remember which is my definitive first, but I know it's either Spyro 2, Spider-Man for the PS1, Darkstone for the PC, or Jedi Knight Dark Forces 2. This person is a literal child, Ian.
My first video game
Yeah.
was Space Invader on the Atari with that big old honking wood panel joystick.
Good. No, the joystick wasn't wood paneled. The console was.
Was it not?
No.
Okay.
Console was. The joystick was not.
All right. It's been a long time.
Yeah.
We didn't play it much because it was only supposed to be a sometimes treat.
Yeah.
And to hook it up, you had to do the RGB cables behind the TV, which was larger than I was and probably 100 times the weight. So it was really hard to get back there to hook it up.
Yeah. Yeah. It wasn't even RGB cables, man. It was RF. It was the when you had to screw onto the. Yeah, you had to screw it onto the coaxial output on the TV or input.
God.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, they didn't have
3, so I didn't really know how it was working.
TVs didn't have like RGB inputs or RCA inputs at the time then.
Wow.
Yeah, it literally just had the hookup for an antenna. That's it. That's all you had.
And you had to put it on channel 3.
I remember.
I think.
Yeah. Well, for me, it was channel 4 because we actually have a real channel 3 here, so it had to be 4.
Hey. Yes, to change the channel, you had to push the large buttons that were on the TV itself.
You had to turn the big knob that went chunk, 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 chunk.
Yeah.
The first game I played was Super Mario Brothers in probably 1989, which was when my parents would have gotten a Nintendo. They got it for themselves. Then they let me play with it, and they have regretted it ever since. Someone in the chat is saying their first game they can recall is Sonic 06. Literal baby. Look at that baby over there. Literal child.
I remember I was playing a demo of Star Fox Assault in the store, and this little kid was really impressed with what I was doing. I said, thanks, I've been playing Star Fox since the first one. Lying, of course. I didn't play the SNES version, but
why not?
He was younger than the N64. It was old, so I felt it was fine. He goes, oh yeah, I got stuck on that one. Oh yeah, what was the problem? I couldn't get past the T-Rex.
Literal baby. Certified fetus. Let's move on to this question here from Nikki Rabbit. Oh no, Ian, Rita Repulsa has been freed from her dumpster. Zordon gives Alpha 1 a simple instruction. Recruit 2 adult males with apathy. And thus, you and Kyle become the green and white Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, respectfully. How'd Zordon get the green power? Don't think about that. How do you two fare as Power Rangers? How do you two try to combat the evil forces of Rita and her army of monsters?
Well, which one's which? Do you want the flute dagger that sounds like a synthesizer, or do you want the talking cat sword?
Respectively, so you would be green and I would be white, according to the way this question is worded.
Okay.
So,
and we're both named Tommy now. This is
go
going to be confusing.
No, I think we're still ourselves.
All right. I mean, in my head canon, once you morph, you are just automatically upgraded to Power Ranger quality.
Well, I mean, that's kind of what happens to the kid and the Blue Ranger kid in Turbo, so yeah.
So I think we'll do just fine. We've watched enough Super Sentai and anime nonsense to know what to do.
Yeah.
And thanks to the morphers, we're now actually able to do that. So there will be a lot of autopilot.
I suppose.
I mean, maybe some flying kicks that go over the putties' heads and they're just going, but beyond that,
we'd have really bad aim, which is normal.
I mean, maybe we're in trouble and I need to summon the Dragon Zord and I'm really trying to figure out how I'm supposed to blow through this sealed helmet into this dagger. And you're just yelling, just do it. Don't think about it. Just do it. And I do. And it works. And I think the Dragon Zord and the Tiger Zord never really combined. They could be the base for a Megazord or they could fit on top. But I don't know if they had the ability to merge. But you know what? Screw it. I'm too apathetic to care about lore at this point. They merge and we get a cool-ass Tiger Dragon Zord.
Who cares? Yeah, I was going to say, who cares? I mean, we're already Power Rangers. The canon is already straining at the seams anyway.
Are you sure about this, Zordon?
No.
Listen, Alpha, this tank hasn't been cleaned in ages. Yes, I'm sure of everything.
Zordon's on something, that's for sure. Oh boy.
Goldar just retires at the end of it. I can't understand how we lost to that guy.
Sorry, your Goldar voice got me.
It's one thing to be defeated by scrubs, but they kept calling me Doggy Boy. Insulting. Humiliating. Gonna go into accounting, I guess. Goldar, it sacks.
Nice. Oh no, Goldar and Sax.
It's rare that I say something so stupid it cracks me up.
Oh no, now we're being put in pretty much the same scenario in this next question. For Rabbit Hammer. Ian, Kyle, it's 2025, the year Pacific Rim takes place, and thus the kaiju threat is upon us.
I'd believe it.
In the years after K-Day, the two of you have trained and honed your skills. You are drift compatible, and a Jaeger has been constructed for you. What is the Jaeger's name? What is in its arsenal? Describe its melee combat style, and do you survive your first battle?
No.
No. Not at all.
We go down swinging, but both arms are going in different directions. I never saw Pacific Rim. Did they have like a naming convention for the Jaegers, or was it just whatever sounded cool at the time?
What? You've never seen Pacific Rim? I
know.
You need to fix that.
I know.
You absolutely need to fix that. What are the names of the Jaegers? I forget. They do have like kind of a naming convention, but it's definitely two words. Like they're like Gypsy Danger or Shaolin Rogue or Echo Saber, stuff like that.
Okay, mic drop.
Mike, right?
Well, that's the thing. We never can remember if we're going with like it's a podcast joke or it's a joke on it not being a podcast joke. Or
there's one called Lucky 7. That's
at one point I call it "Look out for the boom mic," and they're like, "That's not even the name of the thing." I'm trying to drift here.
There we go.
They're like, that's not what it's called. I don't know. I didn't see the movies.
Trying to drift. Pacific Rim, Tokyo Drift. Is that what's going on here?
And so our Jägermeister's like stumbling around, knocking down buildings, swatting at passing planes.
Yeah.
The kaiju's just kind of staring, wondering what's going on.
Yeah.
Goldar just kind of gives it a shrug. Yo, get him while they're not paying attention. Avenge me.
What is Goldar there for?
I mean, with all this public destruction, you really need a good investment firm.
What memory are we drifting together on? Oh no! I think the memories of this show, memories of this episode specifically, was
like,
just
Kyle,
dying.
do you want to do a podcast together? Sure, that could be fun. And now here we are.
Yeah, now here we are. Oh man. Maybe someday Goldar can come on for a guest episode.
Oh no.
Man. We still need the Glomgold guest episode at some point. No, wait. I've got it.
What do you got?
We could call it The Knowing Smile.
Yes, brilliant. Yeah. Yes.
Perfect.
Why did I not think of that? See,
Yeah.
This is why you are the brains and I am the mouth. Yes, very good. We shall pilot the mighty Jaeger knowing smile into glorious, if brief, battle.
Yeah. I mean, what else are we gonna call it? It seems like it's like right there.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
It's plain as the smile on my face.
The knowing smile. It's true. All right. Soccer God has a question. The Matrix, but Pepe Le Pew takes the role of Agent Smith and turns everyone into himself. How do the movies change, and how does Neo handle fighting a horde of stinky cartoon skunks?
Mental image of Hugo weaving, but with Pepe Le Pew's pompadour.
What is this?
Skipping along behind Neo, trying to chase him down.
What is this unhinged line of questions we've got going on here?
You got Neo like scrambling down the fire escape, bouncing off of walls, down derelict building hallways, leaping over cars, and then you just cut back to Agent Smith. Doodaloo, 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 doodaloo. Oh my god.
No.
Start fighting and it gets really awkward. Oh, the fisticuffs. Ha ha ha. Oh, the kung fu. Ha, ha, ha. Get that final scene in the last movie where there's like a bajillion of them in the rain.
Yes, yeah.
You know, it is so wonderful about me. There are so many moi, but Neo Marshall, there's only one of you.
This is so ridiculous.
Morpheus, I hate this place. The smell of it, if it's such a thing exists.
Oh boy. God.
Give me the codes to Zion.
Oh man. There are so many potential thumbnails in this episode, it's ridiculous. Holy crap. This is a French accent episode, apparently. Oh man. Alright, Sonic Beta 4 has a question. Why not cause a little bit of chaos? It's a little late for
to
that.
The party, buddy, but here we go.
A little late for that. In the online series known as Pooh's Adventures, Bowser is married to Mistress 9 from Sailor Moon, with her may or may not being the stepmom of Bowser Jr. What are your thoughts on this ship? For me, to quote he who must not be named for hire, this just feels right.
I'm sorry. What? Pooh's Adventures?
Pooh's Adventures is... I'd never heard of it either. Apparently it's an online web show sort of thing.
Okay.
Like a bunch of a crossover. I don't know what Pooh has to do, why Bowser is there, and anybody from Sailor Moon
know who
is
Mistress
there.
9 is. Okay.
I'm not sure who Mistress 9 is myself.
I'm going to assume she's a villain because it's either Sailor Scouts or villains. It's kind of how it goes.
I mean, I guess.
So sure, why not? My thoughts on this ship, I don't endorse any ship. We're going to keep that on lock.
Yeah. Apparently she is the second in command to the Koopas, which would make sense, I guess. For some reason, apparently Plankton, Poison Ivy, Mr. Freeze, and Biolante are also in it. Why is this a thing?
Is this like a random name generator?
What is
in the world?
It's a random character crossover generator, I think. Yeah. Let's see. Hold on. Apocalypse is in this too. Like Apocalypse, like from X-Men. Yes, it is. What is this? And why is this called Pooh's Adventures? Yet for some reason, Apocalypse from X-Men is there. It's like a whole YouTube thing, apparently. What the heck is going on here? Oh, boy. Oh, boy.
Ooh, you will not deny me my conquest of the 100-acre woods. Oh, bother.
Oh, boy. Chaos indeed. Anyway, Speedweed has a question. So I'm reminded of Samus's relationship with Old Bird and Grey Voice, and honestly, level with me here, you guys. How much would you want to explore Ravenbeak's connection with Samus and the two bird dads? What spicy bird drama between tribes with Samus in between it all?
Oh my god, dude.
So much potential there.
I would have to refresh myself on the details, but just that twist that Ravenbeak was the one pushing to weaponize her adds just such a delicious layer of nougat to this. Like, I want to say it was Grey Voice. Shoot, who was the mentor between the two? Was it Old Bird or was it Grey Voice? I think it was Old Bird.
Think so, if I remember right.
Who would just not stand for it, would not be on board with this. And Grey Voice seeing the logic behind it and kind of being morally torn with it. And you have this child who has no say in it, being oblivious to these machinations between these three. Oh my god, dude. I think you get one solid story out of it. It doesn't need to be belabored, but ooh, the interpersonal drama.
Ooh, spicy. All right, Spoiler 1001 has a question. If you came up with a big twist in a video game or show and the character's theme was going to hint at the twist, would you prefer to work with the composer to perfect the foreshadowing?
This is more of a director's role, and I've not directed anything yet. But yes, if that is going to be an intrinsic part of the presentation, everybody needs to be on board with that idea.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter who is involved. Like, if I'm not directing, the director needs to know. The composer needs to know. I need to know. Actor needs to know. Everybody needs to know how this is supposed to play out.
Right.
How to do it? I don't know. This would probably fall more into the realm of someone who actually knows music theory. But I would think the character's theme should be something that sounds triumphant and upbeat and welcoming at first blush, but then can take a sinister turn very easily, like either shifted into the minor key, or once you add the electric guitar, it takes a more sinister edge, maybe cut the tempo in half. I don't know, but that could be a very effective thing where the vile but inevitable betrayal happens and that musical sting hits and you're like, oh wait, this thing that I have grown to love is now one of dread.
But also it still rules, you know.
Oh yeah. You can't help but love it, and you hate that you love it, but you love that you hate it.
Yeah, apparently Devil May Cry did something like this, which makes sense given the series, given the series track record with the soundtrack. Yeah, that makes sense. That totally tracks. All right, here's one from Switchel. Ian and Kyle, what are some of your favorite steamed hams variants? If you haven't seen it, I bet you'd both appreciate steamed hams, but it's Take On Me.
So watch that link, and I am in awe.
Gotta be honest, I think this might be my favorite. Yeah. Thank you, Switchel, for linking us to this one because it's absolutely fantastic.
The level of effort is astounding.
Yeah, I didn't think much of it at first, but holy crap. Like when it first started, I'm like, what the heck is, what is so special about this? Nothing. It's literally just Take On Me, but holy crap as it keeps on going.
Shoot, I can't think of any one in particular, but I just remember thinking how amazing it is that it's this constant font of creativity and fun. Like, people keep finding new and inventive ways to riff on this meme, and it never really feels stale. You just get tired from the overstimulation.
Yeah. I don't know what it is about steamed hams that really just sparked people, that really got them, but it's really kind of amazing. But yeah, there's so many different ones. Would it be bad to say one of our favorites is the one we did is ours? Go watch ours, please. Steamed hams, but it's the BumbleKast. All right, here's one from the Aussie Blue. When you were part of the team writing the My Little Pony / Transformers crossover, how difficult was it to cross them over? Giant robots and ponies, one who solves problems with the magic of friendship, and the other by punching faces. Couldn't be more different. Actually, I think that's probably what makes it more fun.
Yeah. It was both what was the most intimidating about the project, but also the most fun, because where do you draw the parallel? And researching both, it's like, all right, here is like this crumb of a crossover. Here's the barest idea, the slightest justification. And then you just have fun with it.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about lore implications. You don't have to worry about it being exactly precise to everything. It's just have fun with it. And so I did.
Good. The Transformers are the ones that solve everything with friendship, and the ponies are the ones that punch people in the face, right?
Yeah, I mean, Twilight Sparkle is best known for saying that freedom is the right of all sentient beings.
Oh, yeah. I remember that. We got a question from the cyberspace Coco. Let's say you got to the Mega Man 9 adaptation in Archie, and the notes come down from Capcom that Dr. Light has to talk like Elmer Fudd and misspeak his lines during the course of the storyline. What in-universe explanation would you give for his momentary lapse in Light's mental faculties, and how concerned are Rock and Roll for their poor father's well-being?
Oh, I was going to give him a head cold.
There you go.
I had this already in my notes from day one. We get to Mega Man 8, and Dr. Light has a head cold. That's why he calls him Dr. Wowie.
Dr. Wowie.
Sorry, Mega Man. This is really clogging up my sinuses.
I didn't know he became Homestar Runner when he got sick.
Well, yeah, I don't do a good Elmer Fudd.
Well, I mean, neither did Dr. Light.
See, my concern more was that Capcom would let me get away with the joke.
I mean, I don't know. If it happened early on in the series, it probably would have, but, as things went on, might not have.
Overall, Capcom was really, really chill with approvals. So,
yeah.
They might have.
Yeah.
And shoot, by the time we got to Mega Man 8, I would hope the good faith built up at that point would carry us through.
Yeah. Here's one from Tristan. In Splatoon 2, Callie's role in the main story is wasted. Before the game released, we learned that after Callie and Marie split to pursue different careers, Callie was feeling extremely stressed and isolated by her celebrity status, and other material heavily implied that she went to the Octarians as an escape from her life. All of this is never expanded upon in the game, instead reducing Callie to a damsel in distress. Ian, if you could rewrite the story to expand on these elements, how would you?
I don't know if calling her a damsel in distress is accurate, because she's still kind of actively fighting you. It's more that she's the corrupted hero.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, she is a damsel, and yes, she is distressed and you rescue her, but it's not like she has no agency. She owns that moment when she comes out.
Yes.
You're like, oh, snap, there she is.
It's her, yes.
And then when you redo the boss fight, she put on the brainwashing glasses again. It's like, why? Come on. That's funny. That's just funny. But I do get where you're coming from, where there's all this backstory that you don't get unless you go outside of the game.
Yeah.
So in that regard, I would say make it a collectible, something that you find out in the stage. And it's not crucial to your understanding of it. If you're just playing through the main campaign to get rewards or get it done, you're not going to be interested in the narrative anyway. That's fine. If you are invested, you know that these well-hidden collectibles are giving you lore, and that is incentive enough to seek them out. And there I would just kind of cover the backstory of her, having the distress and then going to the Octarians, and then leave it kind of open-ended, because part of the fun is that reveal.
Yes.
If you set it up too much that she is in Octarian territory and then disappears, that ruins a little bit of the surprise. So I wouldn't tinker with it a whole lot myself. This has been a long time since I played Splatoon 2. I don't remember all the details of the story, but I'm not immediately inclined to heavily rework it.
Yeah. Yeah, it would be nice to have more in that, though. I would like to see like a single player story driven more of that for Splatoon instead of just focusing mostly on the multiplayer. I know that's sort of like the draw and that's the whole point of it, and the story is kind of secondary, but they've really created a lot of interesting characters that I would like to explore more and see more of, and maybe even play as.
Crazy set pieces, too.
And yeah, that too. I would like to see more.
The DLC for 3, jeez.
Yeah. All right, here's a question from Twilord. Stealing this joke from another fandom, you can guess which, but is the suffix man in Mega Man Robot Master names the file format in which their consciousness is stored? Mega.man, Bubble.man, Splashwo.man, etc. This is more of a Battle Network thing, I would think.
But still, it's funny to me.
Man.man.
I don't know if I would go that route myself, but that's still funny.
I mean, yeah, I suppose maybe like there could be a file on their Dr. Light's or Dr. Wily's computers that have each one .man. Yeah.
My headcanon was that Dr. Light just kind of came up with these placeholder names for these robots and then just kind of fell in love with them and just kept them.
Just kept
Why not?
'em.
He's grown fond to it. Then that became the industry standard.
Yeah. It's like,
He's
well,
like, oh, I didn't mean for all the robot masters to do that. Oh, okay. Okay. It is what it is.
yeah. Yep. Also, Twilord stealing stuff from Digimon. Shouldn't be surprised, though. All right, and last question is from Vineclad. We all know that cannibalism is technically wrong and stuff. However, if Soylent Green taught us anything, it's all about the presentation. Do you think society would be cool with cannibalism if we turned people into tasty protein shakes?
Yeah.
The sad thing is, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Because first of all, half people wouldn't even believe that it's actually people. So, yes.
And apparently we taste delicious, so they'd probably be excellent protein shakes.
Yeah, but apparently meat makes terrible smoothies.
Fair enough. Well, I mean, if you reduce the protein enough, I mean, fully dehydrate someone.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I don't know how to prepare a person for eating. I have no idea. Maybe someone down in the comments can tell us.
No. Don't share. Or if you do,
it's all hypothetical, Ian. No one's actually doing this. It's all hypothetical. Maybe they know more than we do. We're not very smart.
I do like how this question opens, though. We all know cannibalism is tactically wrong and stuff.
This episode is unhinged.
Yeah,
and that's great. All right, are we done here?
Oh, we are very done. Thank you to all our supporters over at patreon.com/BumbleKast, Ko-fi.com/BumbleKast, and our YouTube members. Be good to yourselves, be good to each other. And remember to invest in Goldar sacks.
We'll see you next time on the BumbleKast.
If you've been hurt in a recent Zord accident, call Goldar sacks. We'll get you the money you deserve.
Your Zord in the shop.
Don't take my word for it. Here's a testimonial from our close colleague.
Yeah, I love that. I love that gif of the Green Ranger on a scooter going down the street, and the subtitle is "When Your Zord's in the Shop." Okay, I'm back. Yep. Hi. Hello.
You've been listening to the BumbleKast, a co-production of Bumble King Comics and the KNGI Network. Original theme music composed by Ken Coda Snyder. Remixed intro by T-Lopes. Find out more information, along with podcast feeder links, MP3 downloads, and more at bumbleking.com and kngi.org.
Is it cold up there, Ian?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
Not snowy, really.
Okay.
And it's going to warm up a little bit over the next few days and go from no to refreshingly chilly. But today is just cold. Like the Starks were right. Winter is coming and it's right here and it's demanding money.
Yeah.
Stinking. Like, you know me. I like the cold.
Yeah.
I'm the jerk who's walking around with his coat open while everyone else is covered head to toe. But this is the kind of cold that's like, it stabs into you. It gets into your bones. It doesn't care how many layers you're wearing. It's going to chill your soul. It's the unfun kind of biting cold.
Yeah, we're having a bit of a cold snap, which means it's in the low 60s. Oh, no.
That is lower than I was going to guess.
For the high. The high is the low 60s currently.
What's the low?
The low is 30.
Wow, that's actually cold.
Yes, the low. I got a warning earlier today and noticed that low is going to be below freezing. So,
Goodness,
sorry,
that's actually cold.
I know. I mean, yeah.
At 60 to 30, that's a hell of a drop.
That's about normal.
Mm.
The let's see what's going on here. 65 right now. Yeah, it's not cold. I wouldn't call it cold right now.
No, 60's like refreshingly brisk.
At like 4 o'clock in the morning when it's 34. Yes, that's a bit chilly.
Well, right now,
But
around here, it's 18 Fahrenheit.
yeah,
So,
yeah, that's a bit chilly.
going to get down to 16 overnight.
And it's probably going to be quite cold in Maryland.
Yeah. For contrast,
In a
it's going to
couple
jump
weeks.
up to 29 tomorrow. So,
Wow, that's positively burning. You're boiling.
frostbite burning, frost burn,
Yeah,
freezer burn. There we go. Eventually, I get the joke. Hey.
Hey, you did it. What's the temperature right now in Baltimore? 31.
Chilly, but not terrible.
Low is -1.
Oh.
That's cold.
Mm-hmm.
That's cold.
That's almost where Fahrenheit and Celsius sync up. No.
No, Fahrenheit
That's
and
minus 14.
Fahrenheit and Celsius sync up at -40.
I thought it was minus 14.
I'm pretty sure
Oh.
it's -40.
Well, I mean, at that point, who cares?
I mean, yeah, at that point, something's horribly wrong. Or you're very
The
much...
airlock blew and you're out on Mars.
Or very much... you're very far either north or south on the planet. Yeah, it's -40.
At that point, the polar bear's like, I'll put you out of your misery, eh? And you're like, sweet warmth.
Thank you. The sweet embrace of death. Sweet warmth embrace.